Hello guys, welcome back to our today's topic that is based on the ferromagnetic materials. So my dear students, whatever we have studied about the magnetic materials till now and their types of magnetic materials like paramagnetic materials, diamagnetic materials, right? So in this lecture we are going to start our discussion with the third types of magnetic materials, so that is called a ferromagnetic materials. But among all the magnetic materials, the ferromagnetic materials are very important magnetic materials. Why we called ferromagnetic materials is so important because this type of magnetic materials, especially ferromagnetic materials, are frequently used for the constructions of any electrical machines like induction motor, synchronous motor, like that, where we need it strongly magnetized. So in that case, ferromagnetic materials is generally used. Okay. Now, ferromagnetic. Let's have a look which type of elements are comes under the category of the ferromagnetic materials. See, so guys, if we have little bit knowledge about the inorganic chemistries like periodic table, where we studied about the S block, P block, D block, and F block. So the element who lie in D block or F block of periodic table, and they have large number of unpaired electrons. See here, unpaired electrons means what? Unpaired electrons means an atom who occupy an single electrons on an outer orbit of an atom. That is called unpaired electrons, which contribute to spin dipole moment, which contribute to spin dipole moment, right? Spin dipole moment. Here this arrow indicates the dipole moments. The arrow indicate whatever the arrow indicates within an element of any magnetic material, that all arrow indicates the dipole moment, which is south to north headed, right? So they have larger dipole moment and are strongly magnetized. Okay, so the best example of the ferromagnetic materials are iron, cobalt, nickel, gallium, dysprosium. Okay, so next, when we are going to apply some external magnetic field to the material, right? If suppose if we are not apply any kind of magnetic field to the materials like H is 0, if we are not apply any kind of magnetic field, external magnetic field to the material, it means that some dipoles are already exist within an element, but that dipoles are randomly aligned, but that all the dipoles moments are randomly aligned. But when we have applied some external magnetic field to the materials, that all the dipole moments are aligned in the same manner like this, and thus all dipole moments are parallel with each other, right? So here the most important expression of the magnetization is the product of the chi-m and external magnetic field. Chi-m is indicate the magnetic susceptibility. So in case of ferromagnetic materials, M is high, right? Magnetization is represented by the M, magnetic susceptibility is represented by the chi-m, and external magnetic field is represented by the H. Okay, now these term are already we discussed in our previous lecture of the magnetic materials. Okay, So magnet, again I repeat, magnetization means ability of dipole to align when magnetic field is applied. That is called magnetization. Magnetic susceptibility means susceptibility. It is a measure of material to get magnetized of when external magnetic field is applied, and here external magnetic field is H, right? So in case of ferromagnetic materials, chi m is greater than 0. We know the expression of the relative permeability is 1 plus chi m, which is also greater than 1. We know we also know the expression of the uh, what do you call magnetic flux density. Magnetic flux density means the magnetic field lines of force per unit area. That is called magnetic flux density. The expression of the magnetic flux density is the product of the permeability and external magnetic field. The permeability is the product of the absolute permeability and relative permeability. But in case of any material, if we are talking about the any kind of materials, like any kind of magnetic materials like paramagnetic material, that diamagnetic materials, ferromagnetic material, we have some value of the relative permeability. Okay, but in case of air, this relative permeability becomes 1 in case of air. So due to this logic, the magnetic flux density of the ferromagnetic materials is greater than the magnetic flux density of the air. Okay. Now see here, as we know that the ferromagnetic material is strongly magnetized. Okay, so whatever the magnetic field lines of force, passed through the materials, this all are indicates the magnetic field lines of force. Okay, so whatever the magnetic field lines of force passed through the material, this all magnetic field lines of force are converged to each other. Okay, are converged to each other. Converge means the magnetic field lines of force are close to each other, or we can say that near to each other, right? Next is when magnetic field is removed. When magnetic field is removed means when H is 0, when magnetic field is removed from the material, their dipole remains aligned inside the material, giving rise to residual flux density. And in case of ferromagnetic materials, the residual flux density is represented by Br. Let us try to understand what do you mean by the residual flux density. So as you can see that on your screen, this is the VH curve of the ferromagnetic material. Now we know the expression of the magnetic flux density of the material is what? B equals to mu naught mu r into H. So this expression indicates that the magnetic flux density of the material should be directly proportional to the external magnetic field. Suppose we have a ferromagnetic materials like this, and when we are going to apply some external magnetic field to the material, then what happens? The H will gradually increase with respect to the external magnetic field. Their magnetic flux density of the material will also gradually increase, and when material gets fully magnetized, then the materials, then their magnetizations of the materials will go in the saturation region, right? So here virginal curve means what? Virginal curve is the magnetizations curve of freshly prepared material. In this case, with respect to increase in the external magnetic field, the magnetic flux density of the material will also increase, and after some times their magnetizations of the materials will go in the saturation region. What happened when external magnetic field is removed from the material? Okay, when external magnetic field is removed from the material, then H will gradually decreases. H will gradually decreases like this. Due to this, B will also gradually decreases. But when H becomes 0, when external magnetic field becomes 0, it doesn't mean that the materials have 0 flux density. No, this is wrong. When H becomes 0, the material have some magnetic flux density that is called a residual flux density. Residual flux density means that uh, the the materials have some magnetic field lines of force, and their dipoles will also present within a material after H becomes 0. That is called a residual flux density. Right. Now here coercive force is what? Coercive force is nothing but it is the value of the magnetic field lines of force that needs to be applied to make flux density is 0. Okay, now here positive residual flux and negative residual flux. Positive negative indicates that when positive external magnetic field is applied, then it will indicate the positive residual flux density and positive coercive force, and when negative external magnetic field uh, applied to the material, then it will indicate that negative residual flux density and negative coercive force. Okay. Now the next topic is domain theory. Okay. Before we starting the domain theory, first of all, I have a one question for you. Have you seen that whatever the materials like iron material is present in our earth, they all are exhibit magnetism? No, it's not possible. If it's possible, then they can attract to each other. Means iron and iron can attract each other, but it is practically not possible. But what we have studied about the BH curve in a ferromagnetic material, we have studied in a BH curve that uh, after external magnetic field becomes 0, the material have some magnetism that is called residual magnetic flux density. Right. So an iron piece normally does not exhibit magnetism unless it is magnetized. Okay, which means net dipole moment in absence of magnetic field should be 0. B is 0. Right. But ferromagnetic materials must have residual magnetism. So why we called that the net magnetic flux density of the ferromagnetic material is 0 after removing the external magnetic field? Why? Let us see in this diagram. Now here the term is defined, that is domain. Domain means some small within a material, some small region is divided, and each region itself is called a domain. And domain is nothing but a magnetic domain is a region within a magnetic material in which the magnetization is in uniform direction, like this. They all are pointed out in the same directions. But when we have apply some external magnetic field, they all domains are aligned in same manner with each other. But after removal the external magnetic field, the domain of whatever the domain is present within a material, they all the domains are not aligned in the same manner, are not pointed out in the same manner, but in each domain their dipole moments pointed out in the same direction after removal the external magnetic field. So the conclusion is what? The conclusion is that the net dipole moment in absence of magnetic field will come out to be 0. Right. So after removal of magnetic field, the dipole inside each domain remains aligned, but the domains are not aligned with each other. That's why their net magnetic flux density is 0. Okay, so this all about the very important theory of the ferromagnetic material, that is called a domain theory. Right. Now next is magnetostrictions. Magnetostrictions is nothing but it is the phenomenon in which dimensions of the ferromagnetic material changes when magnetic field is applied. Right. What happened when we have applied the alternate magnetic field to the material? In each half cycle material will going to be expand, and in each negative half cycle the materials will going to be compressed. So due to which what we have observed that it will create a humming sound in a transformer, and that humming sound and that mechanical vibrations, to damp out that mechanical vibrations, transformer transformer should be mounted on mud, soil or a rubber mat. Okay, so this is all about the magnetostrictions.